fun. We learn together. 3D art, gaming, transform. It is your show. Come now join us. Subscribe. Come now. Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. I am access iMix and I love you. It is your show. Yes, that's iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. We learn together. 3D art, gaming, transform. It is your show. Come now join us. Subscribe. Come now. Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. I am access iMix and I love you. It is your show. Yes, that's iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. We learn together. 3D art, gaming, transform. It is your show. Come now join us. Subscribe. Come now. Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. I am access iMix and I love you. It is your show. Yes, that's iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. We learn together. 3D art, gaming, transform. It is your show. Come now join us. Subscribe. Come now. Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. Let's run together. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. I am Access iMix and I love you. It's your show. Come and join us. Subscribe. Come now. The Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. I am Access iMix and I love you. It is your show. Come now, join us. Subscribe. Come now. The Access iMix Show. The Access iMix Show. 3D art, gaming, chat, fun. I am Access iMix and I love you.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream. And yeah, how's it going? Hope your day is going pretty good. Today on stream we're going to jump into some game-related asset creation, right? So last time we were working on a dropship for a hero, and I'm going to look into checking out the other level type things. So some time back we were building a suit for our main character. Pretty much these things kind of take me somewhat of on a small journey. What I mean by that is that, in working on the game and doing play testing, you realize, but wait a minute, we need to do this or we need to do that to make the experience feel a lot better for anyone that could be playing. And the person that, if you're developing a game, the person that will be playing most times is yourself, right? So if you're doing something, you might as well throw in some of the things that you would like playing the game, you would like to play in the game. So, and one of those things are like, for the character suit, the interior of the suit, and being able to see the character, in the pilot of the suit. So, that's definitely part of the story. So that has to be built. And we did build that some time back on the stream here. And, we showed that being built. Also, level design is a thing that I'm very passionate about. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, for me, the icing on the cake. Character development, to me, comes a little more natural because, growing up, I loved to create my own characters. I mean, which child didn't like to imagine, cool characters, cool superheroes, and that kind of thing. I was one of those people. So we're gonna jump into Blender here. There's a whole bunch of new Blenders coming out. Right? I feel like actually I think we have the latest long-term support Blender right now. So we're gonna jump into that and we're gonna use that. And there's Blender 5 coming out, and with Blender 5, I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming on the horizon. I think there's a beta version of it out there, actually an alpha version, I think, also. So you guys could check all that out. Let's jump in here to what it is we got to do, which is asset creation for a game development. All right, let's, developing a game, right? That's what we're doing, right? So let's go. Okay, guys, so this is that dropship I was talking about. Right, the last thing we rigged it. I'm gonna look at some other stuff right now. We just it's a little blasty in the ears there with the music. Okay, I've been doing a lot of music here, there, and everywhere. So since people can someone answer this? Since have people become disinterested in music? I'm thinking just before the pandemic, and the pandemic actually capped it off. Finished it off. That's my 2 cents. Okay, so I wanted to do some things on here. I'm not sure how feasible that is, but let's see. Let's go here. Let's go here real quick. Let's take a look. I wanted to angle this whole front end of this thing. So let's see here for a minute. I'm gonna start moving kind of quick, and then I want to take a look at some of the levels that we've been working on also. Because I really like working on levels, putting them in the game, excuse me, putting them in the game engine and seeing, running through the level with a character. So we'll see if we could get there today. Because, I mean, that's what I really like. I like that. I like doing that stuff. We need to do it. We need to progress in there. There's a lot of new people who are watching the stream who hasn't seen that workflow. And I think it would be pretty interesting. Okay. So I made notes about slanting this whole front part back. I don't know, guys. Like, it'll be cool, but it'll probably be some work. Maybe getting rid of this front design here for now, and then simply just kind of like slicing it out and then building it back. So let's do that. I'm gonna merge all the common parts together. Oh, actually, hold on. Should happen in this way. So I'm thinking maybe from this point to this point, we chop off. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and add a point right here. An empty, actually. Okay, cursor to selected, and then Shift A, and you drop an empty right there, and that's where that first point is going to be. And I'm thinking that maybe we should lean into this part right here also. So I'm gonna I'll just put that in there just so I can see what's going on. But let's add another object in here. Okay, rotate. Let's go X on that. Okay. Okay, that's all plain right there. Just kind of give that a small rotate. You know, you can rotate things in defined angles if you hold Control down. You know, you can get like it to snap in certain angles. It's not really a big deal. Scale that up. Okay, I just want to have like some sort of plane where I can see where this thing could be. Okay, so let's press R and Z. I'm gonna hold Control down to. Oh, let's see Y. Excuse me. Okay, I'm just gonna snap it. So that's that first part right there. So somewhere around right in here. Something like right there. So this gotta chop. I think if I chop this away, I'm gonna feel better about the whole thing. And luckily, all this is one piece, and I don't think it would actually affect the internal, what's going on in the internal part of this ship here. Okay, so there, you know, we could use Boolean just to go ahead and cut this out. I'm not sure if that'll work 100%, but let's see if it'll work. Or we could use bisect, which bisect works pretty well with this kind of edit. I'm basically watching this right now to see if there's a possibility I could just move everything backward. Let's see that. Let's try that first. If there's a possibility that we could do that, that'll, you know. I'm gonna get rid of all these sharp edges and sharps and all that. We don't need that right now. Clear sharp. Okay, it's better. Okay, I'm gonna bite the bullet and yeah, that'll totally destroy it. So let's go ahead and chop that. Okay, so select this and select this to that. Let's see if this will work. This switch for Boolean. Boolean modifier. Actually, do we have a Boolean modifier in the right thing? I think so. Okay, so there is some sort of clash happening here. Hold on, let me see what that is. Okay, that's just the interior. Okay, that's not a problem. I'm just gonna hide this for a minute. This might be able to work. Let's check it out. Is that flipped? Is that why? Yep. Yeah, this internal definitely could this could go back a bit. I'll just do that for now, just to get it out of the way. I'm going to select everything and just going to go well by distance. Okay, we could definitely fix this. Alright, so everything's going back on a slope. We'll see. I have a feeling this is a lot more interesting than what we had before, so yeah, it's going to turn out more interesting. Of course, then we can see what we're working with, and you could always fix up later, right? It's not a big deal. Okay, we just gotta bring things together to see what we're working with here. Okay, so that's so everything's on a slight slope. Okay, let's see if we can hide some of these controls here. Don't need to see these right now. Okay, and this pencil note here, we don't need to see this right now either. Hide that. That's already feeling a lot better than what was. Of course, you know, we gotta make sure these things are flattened out like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's better than that flat thing. If all of a sudden it has some forward momentum. Okay, let's go to the top view here. Want to really kind of look at this part right here. Okay. Okay, so what's going on is that this feels twisted because this is off an angle, and these parts here are kind of more or less straight. So it's kind of like if we try to replicate that angle back slightly, it should be okay. Okay, see how this is happening here? Let's see if we could get that. I thought so. Let's see what's going on with that. Okay, so that's not actually cut into there. It's no big deal. Let's delete that. Alright, so kind of trying to make a contiguous thing right here so it makes sense. You're trying to make it all kind of like one surface, delete that. And then we're going to try to connect that back, make that one surface, but I just want to make sure that this part here doesn't have a back. Yes, it does. So let's delete that back. Okay. Okay, so let's build these faces back. This is one way to do this kind of stuff. Like when you're modeling, right, and you're watching tutorials and people are showing you how to model, right? It's kind of prescriptive, right? So it's kind of prescriptive. So they're like, you know, okay, everything makes sense. You know, you do this first, you extrude that, then that, you know, whatever. But if you make your own designs, right? When you make your own designs, you gotta like know how to get from A to be with your own design, not their design or their necessarily their way of going about doing it, right? Okay, I got this. Let me get these, let me see what happens here. So let's see if we can link that. Okay. And then we could clean that up. So basically, this is not actually holding on. It, you know, there needs to be more cuts, but because this is a game model, I don't necessarily have to do that. But if we're doing something for film where this has to break apart, then we'd have to make sure that this part here is all connected and break them up where they need to be broken up. But we don't have to get into that detail. What I mean by it is that this part here is slightly floating on top of this part right here. Actually, this is supposed to have a cut in here where this is connected, but we don't need to do that. It's part of making the mesh contiguous, which is good. It helps with like texturing space, like when you're doing UVs, that you don't have like a big, you know, like there should be a hole here, right? Well, I'll just do it. Let's do it. No big deal. Basically what I mean is, so you have to go from here to here, and I don't mind having something crossing over there. So what I'm going to do this. You know, you can make temporary cuts also. something like that. Oops. Oh, my bad. Hold on. Blender likes to snap. There we go. Right. Let's do that, and let's bring the snap that there. Snap this here. Snap that there. All right. So all of a sudden now we're making room for this this piece here to exist. With that other spot right here, is delete. Right, so all of a sudden now that's kind of more contiguous, and even along here, but we don't have to do that, you know. So, sorry guys, that's my phone. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to make one big piece for here. Let's go in. We could connect it. We could connect it. Let's make it in several pieces like that. You can see my keyboard shortcuts right here on the screen. Unlike with most things, with most things you just have to do like half of it, and it should be okay. Okay, so like I'm watching this part here, and this part feels like this edge here is just kind of like floating. Let's see what happens if we get rid of that. I don't think it. Yeah, like this is. Let's see. Right, that's what I thought would happen, and that's kind of what needs to happen a little bit. I'm going to connect this with this. Alright, having this edge turn like this. That sucks. Could be countered by doing that, but then you get that happening. So, let's see. Let's come back here. J. Alright, so this is flat up until this point, and then this returns onto there. I'm a little bit happier with that. Yeah, I just want to connect this part here. Right. And now this here almost doesn't make any sense anymore. Just go ahead and just kind of get rid of that for now. There you go. And just to make sure that things don't wobble, I'm just gonna cut across J. Normally you try to avoid these kinds of cuts that I'm doing. You know, you try to keep everything into quads, but most game engines, almost all, changes your mesh into triangles, right? So sometimes it's good to kind of view your model in triangles, and sometimes it's good to define where the triangles are being made manually. Sometimes, right? Okay. Okay, let's back away here from it. Let's separate this whole piece here onto itself. Take a look. Let's join this, J. Let's get rid of this. Oh. Sometimes that happens. You could just merge things. It's no big deal. Yeah, look at that. That has a floating thingamabob. Oh, can't get rid of that. Oh, maybe I could just delete. Oh, I can't delete it. Let's just merge it in. Last. Yeah, a little bit of inspection. and it should be okay. Huh. Okay, I'm try to bring the mic a little closer to my mouth here, guys. Okay, that's better. All right, so let's go here. Okay, so now I'm watching this cut right here. So what happened there was like part of this thing that stuck out, but so we just have this kind of floating edge. I mean, technically it could connect back to this part. So let's see what happens if we connect that to there. Okay. What I'm looking at this, so like my mind goes a lot. So like I'm thinking like maybe this cut here could come straight up, but it will touch here and then come right over into here and get rid of this cross thing that's happening. Okay, so if you want to make a straight cut with a knife tool, press K with a knife, and then you press A, and it will make a direct. But you gotta be like facing head on, you know, to make sure that your cuts are straight. So let's try that. So we're gonna go here, press K, right, and then I want a straight cut, so you press A, and it's gonna be straight up, like that. It feels like a lot of tools have that kind of thing, like SketchUp and that kind of thing. Okay, let's see. I just feel like maybe I needed to do that. It could be like my 3D spider senses, you know, was tingling there. Spidey senses. Maybe it needed to go up like for that, and then this comes back in. Let's do that. Yeah, that's what has to happen. Just for that part. Oops, my bad. Okay. No excuses, guys, but my keyboard is not directly in front of me, so it's like kind of like off to the side. Because I have my Wacom directly in front of me, so it's like not an excuse, just saying. That's what's happening. I'm getting a weird thing there. I wonder what that's about. Is this, or was this not cutting? You see, it's a good thing sometimes you inspect weird stuff like that. What? Okay, we're gonna fix that. Is there like another like polygon? Let's delete that polygon. Okay. Press F. Okay, there we go. And F again. Okay. All right. That takes care of this. This is a lot more interesting than what we had before, which was just like a front flat thing, which worked on paper, but in as we do the 3D stuff, it looked odd. Okay, so this is it in flight mode. Not too bad. Just inspecting. I actually had dreams about this, guys. I dreamt about modeling this. I was like, Nick, you know what you're doing? You're supposed to have like some sort of internal cavity that when the wing rolls in like that, there's like clearance, so nobody's killed. It's like, what am I doing? It's just a game. Don't think like that. But there is clearance in here for when the ring rolls in, so like nobody is like killed when when that's happening. Okay. So I'm more concerned about the outside than the inside right now. We just mocked up the inside to do its thing. Right, this part here, let's isolate this internal part here. So this is like a comms kind of internal mechanism system thing. So this could be built out, right? We could trick this out. We could like, this is a screen here. We could do all kinds of concept art in this and make this look cool, make this look cool, make the rails look cool. This could be divided up and have some like real things on there, but we're not going to get into that right now. It's a little nitpicky. The external, we should focus on just that and see if we could like get to a point where we could texture this. I'm looking at this, guys. Hold on. Okay, so we could totally texture it in this mode here, like this. I mean, we could texture the separate pieces because in the end, this, and this would be one. But I'm looking at which, yeah. So the sunfish mode is how it should be textured. So this would be the default position. Right, and we have the engines. So with this said, we could take this, we could leave this alone, and we could like just copy. I can. What I will do, I'm gonna select this as a thing, right? And dump this into kind of like its own, you know, its own Blender file. So let's launch another copy of Blender. So this is one of the things I remember, you know, everyone asking, you know, can you save selected in Blender? And the answer is no, you cannot, but you could copy. So you could Control C and it will throw up like 13 objects in the buffer there. As a matter of fact, I have all these, let's go here, hold on. So I have right external, let's get rid of all the internals. There you go. So it should be only external. And this is mirrored, right? So I'm gonna copy, so this is copied. Let's go over to our empty Blender and you can do Control V, paste, and it will bring everything over. Or we didn't select that one part, let's do it again. There we go. See? And now you could save this as save, so you know, now you could save this out, save as. So this is dropship and I'll call it detail. So we're gonna add more detail to this. Details. I'm gonna delete all the other keys associated with moving this thing. Now let's go A here. Let's rotation and scales. This wait a minute, did that just flip? Oh, these actually, let's okay, these are mirrored, so let's go ahead and convert all that to like a solid mesh. Then rotation and scales. Let's see if we can get rid of these helper object. Oh, I want this. I don't want these animated. Really? Okay, we just gotta unparent these and keep transforms. Let's go ahead and do that. Hold P, click parent, keep transforms. There we go. Bam. Alright. So we got our sunfish here. Pump it up. Hey, look, we're using ZBrush, guys. Okay, so. Alright, so let's go back into what we had here. We're going to save this out because this is where all the main concepting and putting everything together, this is where everything exists, right? I'm just gonna unhide all the control things. We can get rid of this thing that we use for the cut plane. Let's get our internals back. Just want to make sure everything is on so we have no kind of weird stuff happening. I'm just gonna roll through this real quick. But this is the master concept file. Right. Just what it takes to get the stuff done. So basically in a game studio you might have like one artist working on this for like, you know, a couple weeks, or maybe a week maybe for something like this, and they would like really go to town on it, right? This would be their waking moment, right? When they wake up, get to work for 8 o'clock, probably leave at 4 or 5, you know, and they might go between this and maybe two other things. But this would be their thing that they have to do. Let's see here. So let's turn backface culling on. That's important. Let's turn cavity on. I was looking for cavities like all the way back there. Just want to make sure we're on 0 here. Okay, back in layout. Alright guys, so this is what it's about here. I'm watching this. So the thing is if this here is supposed to be like something that moves. Let's go into object color. Yeah, I'm thinking that this should have like some kind of like tiny like sliver of a space. We gotta snap the vertices. What are we doing? I'm just closing up a little gap here, guys. Okay, select A, weld by distance, and you could change the distance by which it's welding by coming right here. I know normally like 003 is pretty good for getting rid of anomalies. Go back like so, auto smooth. Okay, so now I wanted to look at I'm looking at the overall thing. So what I personally normally would do is to merge all this into one main kind of like into one main model and dump that in a sculpting program and just play around with the sculpting on here to see if I could add like you know, like sculpting detail in here, even though it's a mechanical thing. There's tools like box cutter and stuff like that that you could use to cut, you know, to make cuts in these things and to have it make sense. So this has to be closed up. I'm just gonna check this out real quick. just realized I didn't have this closed up. It's interesting. Why did not this go up? And this could be fixed like that. Yeah, literally. Okay, so maybe that's why. Okay, why wasn't that closed? I'm gonna have to make an edge here. Let's subdivide that. Sorry guys. Then I'm gonna connect this. I'm gonna move this. GG. Slide along the edge. GG again. Okay. Snap that to that. Something like so. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Okay, so the thing is, once this closes in like this, as I said, it's clashing, right? So this needs to have like a hole in there. This part here. And we do have space for this. Actually, we let's see. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna go in and work with it like this. Okay. I need this part back in the other part. Let's see if we could do that. Oh, we'll figure it out. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just merge this together. Remember, we do have our pieces part. We do have our part where it's, you know, like all pieced together somewhere else. I mean, we could leave the wing by itself. Let's try that. My bad. Let's do that. Let's do the wing by itself. It's no problem. You can have more than one piece. J. It's no big deals. Let's do this again. J. Okay. We could let's do the engines by themselves. It's all good. They're probably just less headache in the end. Now see how we merge that together and there's no inkling of that stripe there because, you know, it's not defined as anything. So what I'm going to do here, you make us a little bit of a decision. It might get rid of the aerodynamic feel of this, but let's see. Let's leave that alone there. Let's extrude this out. See what that does. What would happen if that? I wonder if that was kind of merging. But anyways, you know what? Let's leave this like this. Okay, we're gonna make this higher this way. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead, see what the orientation of normal is. Somewhat, it's not perfect. Let's come up with it. Okay, now we can merge that in. Just making sure there's actual, let's move this out, there's actual space for that. I don't think there's any polygons on the inside. Yeah, there's actual space for that. We'll merge this back in. Okay. Figure I'd do that now then later. Okay, drop a lot of smooth on that. Okay, so we have this here, we have the wing. So these are three parts that we could sculpt on. You know what I'm thinking about here, guys? I'm thinking that maybe the pivot on of this should be where we could possibly rotate it while we're sculpting. No, actually, you know what? Let's leave it like that. What I'll do, I'll just hide what I don't need. Okay, so, and all these are one. Okay, so I think this is good to go. So the thing about sculpting, especially if you're going to use adaptive sculpting, it you want a close mesh. So something like this, you know, could it could run into you could run into problems basically because the mesh is not completely closed. So what I mean by that is that like these right here, you know, there's like a hole in here, as there should be. There should be a hole back here also. But for sculpting purposes, just for now, let's just close all these holes up. Just look and see what we got here. I'm just gonna bring this over. I'm just gonna be a little economical here with the just merge distance. GG. Slide that over. 5. Actually breaking this up into these pieces, you know, I could clearly see where certain things could work a different way. It's all good. This is how we learn, right? I mean, after so many years, I'm learning. I'm not the I'm not the, you know, the grand poobah, grand poobah of wasn't that a rapper or something? I don't know. I'm not the grand poobah of 3D design here, guys. Okay, that's as good as I could see for now. Let's just use a mirror modifier in this. Okay, I'm just inspecting it here real quick. Let's merge up to 3, maybe 4 of these. Okay, I'm just gonna collapse that. Okay, so this is one section. Let's check the wing section. Okay, so obviously we should close this. Okay, we need to merge some things. Okay. I'm just gonna connect this. It's no big deals. We'll fix that later. Okay. And here. Okay. Gotta find somewhere to get that I think I'm gonna come back into this edge right here, support it a little bit more. Little thin triangle, which is not perfect, but actually let's not do that. Just a little too thin. Let's come here. It's like upon watching this now, you know, you can have a sense for like what the wing design should be. Like I'm seeing like it's bowing here, and that should, it looks like that. It should be flatter. It's all good, guys. Okay. So we got a main part, then we got this articulating part here, which we could cut into. And you know what? The good thing about voxels is that I could literally use this to cut into that. So, yes guys, we're going to 3D coat here in a minute. I'm just gonna use the mirror modifier in this again. Something like that. And that's good to go. Let's collapse that. Let's do the same thing with this. So in the end, like, we might not really touch these engine fin things, but definitely probably be touching. Okay guys, I'll be right back. Give me a second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Getting phone calls left, right, and center. You think that would happen on Monday, but no. I guess Tuesday everybody has time to reach out. So, all right, so like this is, so this here, so we got this, right? Close mesh, good for sculpting. So let's, so the thing is, you know, at this point in time, I decide, hey, do I want to sculpt in Blender or 3D Code? Hey, let's do the 3D Code thing because it's a lot of fun. We could sculpt in Blender, and you know, you'll probably yield somewhat similar results. But let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna export this file, export. Let's see here. Go to regular OBJ, right? And thank God we have folders that are somewhat organized. Let's see here. So what do we got here? Go to the tippy toppy. Okay, 3D Code assets. Let's go in there. And I'm going to put my exported files in here. So we have weapons, objects, levels, heroes, enemies. We have export and import. So I'm gonna put it in export folder. I'm thinking, oh, very good. Look at that. So we have enemies. Don't I have vehicles in here? What? Is this the first? Is this the first vehicle we're doing? Import. Okay. That's a whole bunch of stuff. Export to enemies, heroes, levels, objects, weapons. I'm gonna make up vehicles. Right? Vehicles could be anything that gets you from point A to point B. Okay, so I have ship details here. I'm gonna go selection only. Should be fine. Dun, dun, dun. I think I have nope, don't have presets in here. I had at one point. Don't necessarily need materials. Leave that out. Let's leave that in just in case. Don't want to screw around too much. No animation, perfect. Go ahead, export. Oh, where's Amos? Let's launch 3D code. It's been a minute since I lost 3D code, guys. Let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah, it launched. Okay, here we go. Got the old 3D code all nice and launched up. Let's go ahead and import our file. So import it. I want to import it to be voxelized. So import mesh for voxelization. Let's go ahead. 3D code assets right here, and I put it in the export folder, and it's under vehicles. Right, that's it. There you go. Now it's kind of small right now, so like let's click auto scale, see what that does. I want this bigger because we want to be able to put a lot of detail in here. I'm not sure about it. I wish there was a visualizer for the voxel scale. I think there might be, but I don't know off the top of my head, guys. So I'm gonna manually scale this. Let's go 300. Normally in threes things work really well. I have a feeling like I want this a lot bigger. I have a feeling, let's do another, so that's like 600, so let's do another 3. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if that works. Apply. Okay, this is the first time that you've tried importing an object into the scene. Do you want to keep the initial scale and position of the object for export later? If yes. No, I don't want 3D code thinking hard about anything. Okay, so we got a model in here, guys. Look at that. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I don't have all my special panel. We could build all that up. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on this Vox Clay tool for now. Let's inspect it. Alright, there's little import anomalies. And this is going to tell me whether we needed. I think we needed a little bit more detail, guys. That's what's happening here. So I'm gonna Control Z. Alright, get it back to this form right here. I'm gonna scale this up a little bit more. Let's go 600 again. It's gonna be even bigger. Yeah, this feels ginormous. Let's go minus 300. Let's shave off some. Oh, wait a minute. Did I go minus or? Let's go auto scale again. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go 1000. Auto scale. Come on. Oh, did it flip? Auto scale again? What happened? Okay, I'm gonna re-import it. This is weird. File, import for voxelization. Okay. What happened? And the position is all messed up. Let's wrong this out. Okay. Scale. What? Oh, leave rotated axis, move only gizmo. Set negative volumes. No. Okay, I'm gonna go new, don't save. Okay, let's try that again. Import mesh for voxelization. Yep. It remembers. I'm gonna shut him down. Okay, it should work now. I think the reason why I remembered is because people like on the developers about things about 3D code not remembering certain quick certain certain things, and the developers really went in hard on the remembering part. Okay, so let's come in here. This should be better. Okay, yeah, we could tell already. All right, so vehicles. Let's get it back again. Okay, so we're back. Let's go auto scale. RIT. So I want 1000. This is good. Okay, so normally, if you click on this button here, you increase the resolution of the layer. I'm gonna go up to 4 times resolution just to capture every edge. I'm gonna hit apply. Maybe 2 was enough. 4 is like, you want every atom, sir? Oh yeah, it's thinking. Okay, so I see one problem. One problem is that we're bringing the scene all nice and squared away, right? As one thing. So I think what probably needs to happen is I have to bring each element in so we can sculpt on it. So I have to export each element. It's really thinking hard about that too. I should have left it as sorry, 4. So that's probably like, opposed to 2 million, it's probably doing like 4 million voxels, which is insane detail. It's gonna do it, but it's really thinking hard, guys. So I'm gonna kill it. Let's try one more time. I wonder if we could get the separate elements from in the OBJ file. I'm not sure. Let's see if we could do that too. If not, I'll just have to re-export them. This is how it goes, guys. This is how you do it. Let's go here. Okay, let's see. Okay. Right here. Okay. All right. Okay. So we got it back, right? Don't do just do. I'm just gonna do up to like that. I'm gonna go auto scale. Import to separate instances. Import every copy of merge object to separate instance. Import every copy of merge object. I have no idea what that is. I'm just gonna click it, it's fine. Extra instance density. Oh my gosh. Yo, Tappy
Slot just followed.
What's up? How's it going? xsinick will tell you hi later. Right now I don't have her controls on me right now. Hey, thanks for joining. Okay, so let's scale this up. So I did 1000 last time. Let's keep it with 300 because like when you're doing scales between applications, if you're going between Blender and Max or Maya or whatever it is, normally like the scale, if you want the scale to be right, it's normally like 33.3, I think, equals 1. So if you want to scale something up, it's like you have to deal with 3s, right? So I could go like 300, 30 something or whatever, but I'm just gonna go 300 for now. And it kind of somewhat kind of keeps the, you know, what you're doing. It still looks kind of tiny to me, guys. I'm just gonna scale up a little bit more. I'm gonna go another 300, so it's like 6. Okay, let's go ahead and apply this. I'm gonna turn off this separate thing here. I just want to see what it looks like, and then maybe I do separate. Okay, so it needs more resolution. This is the first time. No, I don't want that. So let's Control Z. You could go back to the way it was before. All right. Remember last time we did 4 resolution, and it really bugged everything out. I'm just gonna scale it up another 300, and that should increase the resolution, because more voxels, the tinier voxel will fill the spaces. So let's go ahead and press apply. Okay, so now it's thinking. So my theory was correct. So it's like, oh yeah, sir, we're gonna like convert every atom. It's gonna probably have way more detail than what Blender has in terms of capturing every edge. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna export each piece here. I think it's finished. There you go. So that's looking much better. Look at this, guys. Whoa, look at that. Ultra mega detail. Bam. Even captured all the thin pieces and everything. So this is what we want. But what we want is each piece separate, right? I don't want like my wing merged in with all that. I was hoping that maybe it would keep that. And I think there is a way to come in here and tell it, hey, import each part of the OBJ, you know, or whatever. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it simple. Come back here. I'm going to select this object and export this as a thing. Let's go export OBJ, right? I'm going to start with this. Right, export selected is on. Alright, so that's exported, and I'm going to select the engines and do the same thing. Right, I'm going to put a 2 on this. Okay, I'm going to do the wings next. I'm going to put a 3 on that. I mean, we could give these things names like engines, wings, blah blah blah. Maybe I do that. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go wings. Right. And let's just hunt for where this is, and let's do that with what's their output folder in here? Let's leave that alone. Okay, so we're going into work files. Okay, I'm just gonna rename that one real quick. 3D code assets. Vehicles, and right here, so we have wings, and 2 should be engines. Okay, so engines and engines. Let's do the same thing with the MLT file. Although it's not going to really need the MLT file, but I don't want to screw things up. Okay. Okie dokie. We got each part, and we know that it's going to come in like ultra detailed. Like, look, I captured every edge. That's what we want. Okay, so I'm just going to Control Z this. Go back. We're going to bring in each element, and then we could sculpt and chop away and do all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, it's taking a while. It's kind of like trying to clear this right now. Trying to keep all my settings. Oh, so wait a minute. So okay, Tappy Slock, I just got your message. Okay, can you turn off the follow only because I had to wait 10 minutes long. Still waiting for 5 minutes to chat. Oh man, yeah. I think that was set up for like against like bots and things coming in, just like posting like weird stuff in there. But I could take a look at that. I promised to take a look at that sometime back also. So I'm just gonna send you a message. No probs. No probs. We'll look into it. Like for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put now probs. Like no probs. Oh guys, come on. Come on guys. Okay, yeah. So like with Twitch, like what's going on with Twitch, guys? If you're watching me on YouTube later or wherever it is or wherever you are watching me, like with Twitch, like sometimes people like bots come in sometimes, and yeah, bots come in sometimes and they post like links and all kinds of weird stuff. So I think like the way how Twitch has had it set, has like a security thing set up kind of like by default, I think, is where like the person has to wait like maybe like a 10-minute wait as soon as they first join you to make sure that it's an actual person and it's not just like a bot that's joining you or that's joining in the chat real quick, posting a link and then jumping out or something like that. I'm not sure how it works. I'm gonna look into it. You know, Tappy Slock. You know, I'll look into it and see if I could fix it. Oh, or if there's different settings. Maybe 10 minutes is slow. Maybe it's more of a 5-minute wait and it'll deter bots or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. Alright guys, so open the mesh, close mesh. Oh, okay, open the mesh. What's this? Select the mesh to import. What's close mesh? Close mesh is if you want to import the object as something without thickness. Ew. It is important that the mesh is closed. With this button, you can close all holes. Okay, on the mesh, yeah. Okay, and this is the. Okay, so just a little backstory on 3D Code, guys. Like this is 3D Code I'm working. A program called 3D Code. It's built by a Ukrainian company called Pillageway, and I think they are pretty cool. So, and the program 3D Code is crazy for texturing and other things, and the sculpting and voxels is just out of this world. Blender is really good too, so. But I would say 3D Code is a really good alternative to ZBrush because you could get some really detailed stuff up in here. Okay, guys, so let's see. Let's bring in our new stuff. Oh, is that still in here? Okay. Okay, guys, so let's see if we can bring in the new stuff here. File, import. I'm just gonna do it this way. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Hold on. Mesh for voxelization. Okay, so let's try to get this one back in here. This should be different. Yes, it is! Yoo-hoo! Okay, so... everything reset. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to 2 here. Let's clear this file here, man. Give me a second. Okay. No. Okay, I'm gonna make auto scale this, right? And then what we want, last time I think I went like 300, so it may be 600. Finally! Hey, how's it going? So this tool is called 3D Coat. It's by a company called Pillageway. A lot of people like to use it to do texturing, you know, hand painting and stuff like that. There's a version of it called Textura where you could totally do that alone, but its main thing is for sculpting, so you could sculpt in 3D Code. Okay guys, I just want to make sure that this is the correct size for everything. Yeah, I totally do characters. Characters is like one of my main things, you know. So yeah. So what we're doing here, we're developing a game called Soul 3000, and I'm here on Twitch showing showing some of the progress on it, doing some of the work on here. I also we do other things. We do other types of sculpting and we do art. We draw. We do music also. So it's a variety show, right? But mainly geared towards game development, mainly. But I do a whole bunch of other things. So if there's something that you particularly would like to see, join my Discord if you like. We drink coffee. Don't forget that. That's right. Yeah, yeah, we totally do. You're still learning 3D? Yeah, you just gotta start. What are you most interested in? Are you are you interested in characters? Doing characters in 3D, or I know some people like to do like cars and planes and like everyday objects like cups and spoons. Guys, I'm trying to get a good scale for it here, so bear with me for a minute. I think 1,000. Okay. And I do need to ramp that up to 2 times. I think that's what worked the last time. I think last time we had a perfect scale, but just lost it by accident. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it, apply and see what happens. You use a plane to recreate a mouth. Yeah, with anime character, but the shapes getting aligned. A complicated. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I think this is good details, guys. I don't think we need to I don't think we need to go higher than this. Let's bring in the other objects. Let's get the engines in here. Oh, look at that, the engines line up. If the engines work, then we know we have good scale. So I'm just gonna make a new layer. Alright, and I'm gonna apply the engines on here. Looking good. You can't get the mouth correct. Yeah, so when you're doing anime characters, it's the thing that people don't tell you. Alright, so like, alright, I like what you're saying there. So there's 2 types of anime characters, guys. And, there's 2 types, right? So there's like the deformed type, which is good, right? So when I say deformed, I mean like maybe what Tappy Slock is maybe trying to create, like where the mouth is like really minimal, and it's just really deformed. I mean, all of anime characters are deformed to begin with. But then there's also the other type of anime characters where it's a little more natural looking, right? Where the mouth is kind of somewhat to the, to regular size and all that sort of stuff. When you're doing the really extreme deformed characters, they get really tough because they start to break the laws of like how a face is supposed to be. And they might be easy to draw, but once you start doing 3D, they get really tough to like do it in 3D. So maybe Tappy, that's probably what you're encountering. Like, things look right in one view, right? And when you rotate in different views, it looks weird. Is that what's happening? Okay, this is the last mesh. This is the wing. Okay, let's see if we got all our pieces together here, guys. Yeah, boy, we got the wing, we got up, so everything came in and everything looked pretty decent size. We got a shipping, guys. Let's just drop some color on some of these. So you know, Tappy, if you join our Discord, you could send me a picture of what it is you're working on. I could take a look and maybe tell you what you you know, make some suggestions of how you could go about fixing it, maybe. I'm not sure, but maybe it might work. Let's see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new material. I want like a different color in here. Give me a second. Construct new shader. Okay, there we go. Everybody wants characters, guys. Characters, you know. I don't mind. Characters are cool. I could do characters all the time. Let's make like what color? Maybe like a blue, maybe. Why is there a texture in here? Wacky. I got no clue what's going on here with this. It's not even responding. Let's get out of this one. That's a wacky material. Let's choose this one. Let's keep it simple. Let's come in here and let's make a new one. Construct new shader. Yep, we want blue. The people want blue, so let's do it. So normal textures. Use cavity, flat shading, use normal texture. Nope, I don't want any texture in here. Like literally these things are acting wacky. I'm just gonna make it, guys, and just throw caution to the wind, like whatever. It's a really odd color. It's better than nothing. Nathan. This whole thing is acting wacky. Is that the color? Where does red come in here? Like, it's driving me up a wall. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I'm detail oriented. I'm sorry. Let's see. Edit current object shader settings. We don't want any textures. Maybe this is what it needed. It feels better this way. When I go back to this, it's really odd, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. We just want a working shader. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Get in there. Ooh. You see, all of a sudden, these are like worst case scenario shaders, right? So they show you like all the stuff. Normally, your mesh wouldn't have this on it, but it's fine. Oh, why is that color now? I'm gonna have to work on that later. Anywho's, okay, so we're in voxels here. Let's go ahead and save this. I need a vehicles folder. Maybe what we were doing is saving vehicles for some other time, right? And I'm just gonna bum rushing it right now. Is there like some kind of metal? The shader's bothering me, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Metallic. What? Whatever. Is this on an individual basis? Is that what's happening here? Okay. There you go, it's better. Whew. Okay, let's go ahead and add some symmetry on this. Bam. So whatever we do to one side is going to reflect on the other side. There we go. And just for good measure, I'm going to make sure it's actually symmetrical by selecting. I know, Tappy kind of quick fire there. Tappy, just like, hey, you know, I can't get them all correct, and let's figure it out. Let me know. You know, let me know if you wanna show me what's up. Wait a minute, I don't even have Discord on. Maybe he did join Discord. Hold on, let's check. No, he's not on Discord. Or you could, I don't know if you could send me a link in here. You could just send me a link, and I'll take a look at what you're talking about. But yeah, we do, you know, characters on here. You know, you could easily go into YouTube and take a look there. I could show you one if you're still around. I'll show you what kind of characters that we do. Just let me know if you're still here. Okay, so let's see here. Let's mirror. So I have geometry, symmetry copy. Okay, here we go. Max subdivision steps. Screen subdivision. Oh, cancel. Geometry, symmetry. Sim copy. So this is going to copy one side to the next. Make sure that we have actual sim. You know, sometimes you got to kind of do this. Okay, so it just did it. Okay, so this is exactly what it is here. It's exactly over here. Let's just double check that. Kinda. It's exactly over here. Okay. So what are we doing here? We could let's start smoothing some things out. Okay, there you go. No, there's different kinds of smooths in here, and let's take a look at the different kinds. Some are much more aggressive than others. Soft clay, voxel, flatten, smooth. There's another smooth here, surface smooth. Let's see what the surface smooth does. You see that that's less aggressive than the voxel one in some aspects. Just gonna clean up little anomalies. Okay, so what do we want to do in here? Well, we want to make things better, don't we? So these lines are from like where the polygon actually had a cut, you know, like the tessellation of that polygon. Sometimes this happens with the voxel conversion. I think just making sure that you have enough detail in here combats that, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I'm thinking that people want to see characters, right? So we will definitely do some of those for sure. A matter of fact, that's the next thing that we got to move on to, right? Literally, we got to move on to the one of the main characters of the game, right? At least the suit that the character wears. So we got to get into that. And you know, we're all about anime on here also. So I mean, not all about anime, but mostly anime. That's what we do, right? Anime influenced, at least influence, if not straight up anime, right? We don't do straight up anime, we do the influence part. Okay. Let's go on to the wing here. Let's see. We could hide the rest of the ship and just kind of take a look at what's going on here with the wing. Is this not being symmetrized right now? What the? Let's symmetrize this. I don't know why. What's going on here? Hold on. Symmetry is enabled. Okay, let's go ahead and do sim copy. Just gonna bring the side I was painting on over to the other side. There we go. Now it's truly sim copied. Da, 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 da. Okay. Okay, I'm warping that edge there. So let's get that back there again. Okay, guys. Here we are. I think the important thing about like, you know, seeing that I think, you know, Tappy's is left, right? So like you brought up a good thing like anime and stuff like that. It's kind of like you got to know like edge flows and stuff. So like when you're doing stuff in like 3D, especially Blender. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what he was dealing with. I was trying to see if I could understand a little bit better, but just in general, if you're doing like anime, like mouth, especially if the mouth is small and tiny, because sometimes in anime mouth, you know, you can make the mouth bigger and stuff, but you know, when you're doing that kind of stuff, it's all about edge loops, right? So that's where it gets a little tricky. You know, making sure those loops are nice and flowing, and that goes with almost any model, right? It's not just anime. But when you're doing like what I said earlier, like the super deformed styles, you know, you gotta really watch your edge flow because it's so easy for things to just become messy while doing it. Yeah, we need more detail at some point, but not right now. I'm not going to clean up these engines. I'm just going to leave those in there. That's kind of more or less a placeholder, so that's fine. Okay, so the first thing, you know, if you ever have like this kind of a thing, like off the top of my head, like the first thing that I would want to deal with would be like panel cuts and stuff like that. You know, because rarely ever something is. Oh, look at this thing here. Isn't this just dandy, guys? Look at that. Let's fix that. Yeah, I would want to deal with like panel cuts and stuff like that, like right off the top. Well, let's just fix some of these last set of anomalies. And I don't know why this always wants to do a steady stroke on this brush. Even with a pen tablet, I turn it off. And right now I'm using my mouse. Yeah, so I'm not sure what kind of anime mount he was dealing with, but edge flows definitely, if you pay attention to those, it'll definitely help you. I'm gonna mirror this side over to the other side. Actually, it's already mirrored, so that's interesting. Well, let's still do it. Let's go ahead and do sim copy. Guys, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take this here to segue into talking a little bit about edge flows, like around mouth, like dealing with mouth stuff and all that. But the shapes, yeah, getting aligned. I'll show you guys a little something here. Just in case if Tappy ever decides to watch it or whatever it is. I hope I didn't scare you away, Tappy. If I did, I apologize, but this is who I am. Can't change. I'm trying to. Okay, let's leave the ship for a minute. We'll come back in and try to deal with some panel cuts. And let's take this section here just to kind of check out like some edge flows and that kind of thing. And anime stuff. Let's see. Let's come in here into Blender. So I'm guessing most people would use Blender. Let's go ahead and save that. And I'm not sure how you know, Tappy is dealing with it, but he said he made it from a plane, right? So let's investigate this. Tappy, thank you for the little mystery here. This is awesome. So let's see here. He said he made it from a plane, right? So I use a plane to recreate a mouth with anime character, but the shapes are getting. So first of all, like if you're doing this kind of stuff, I recommend using reference, which I think he might be. So let's look up an anime character real quick. What's the most I like Dragon Ball, but I don't know. Is anybody out there wants to like make a suggestion? Anybody want to make a suggestion of what character we could look up? Okay, so I'll look up like let's see here. Like, is it Vegeta? Oh, here we go. Right. Let's just see this guy right here. Right? So you don't want like, you know, I'm sure there's people that create with anime, right? So there's people that'll probably create different views of this character. But in case if you don't, this is what you could do. Check this out. Let's come in here. Oh, this is a high resolution thing. Let's just grab a snapshot of this guy. Right here. Let's just do this real quick. Bam. Alright, so we have a picture of Vegeta right there. Okay. So you would want different views when you're dealing with it. I mean, we're just gonna focus on the mouth, right? And he said he made it from a plane, so we're gonna do it from a plane, right? So we want to import that one file there. So I think Blender has something called images to planes. So import, you have to turn that on. So let's come in here. I think it should be on by default, but I'm not sure anymore. So let's just go in here and just turn that on. Now I think you could actually just bring it in. What am I doing? Isn't there like, yeah, hold on here. Image right there. Reference image. There we go. All right, so desktop, Vegeta. There we go. Da, da, da. Let's just bring his head up here. I actually want to do the mouth. So you're not gonna model the mouth like smirk like that. You're gonna animate that like that. All right. So you want like a side view, right? And you can't really do a side view like just by using a front view, right? But there's a way in drawing you could do a side view, and I could do it here in 3D, but you could also do it in 2D. But let's see how far I could get here in 3D, right? Let's go to the Wacom where I could actually draw this. Okay, here we go. Actually, let's go back and just bring the Wacom. Okay, let's just bring the Wacom up. Sorry. Yeah, here we go. Let's make this big. Yikes. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I was gonna use the annotate just to do a kind of quick, kind of like side viewy kind of drawing on this. So what, you just want some lines in the bottom of the chin, over here. Alright, let's say the bottom of the lip over here. Let's say the bottom of the nose over here. Let's see. His eyes, this is the bottom of the eyes. Okay, let's do some top of the eye here. Okay, this is his nose. And this is, let's take the middle of the mouth right here. Let's do the top of the chin right here. Okay. So let's see if we could get him happening. So I'm thinking like his nose, his face protrudes out. Let's come in here. Let's make this a better color so we can see. I know we could probably even just, can we go black? Let's go black. Let's bring the thickness down a bit because I just want to sketch on it a little bit. Okay. Just lock frame. Okay. Let's see if we can get it happening. No, there are side views of these characters. Just gonna that exist out there. Oh, this is chin. Chin is right here. I mean, there's a jaw. Up in the bottom of his ears, like here, the top of his ears here. And even in anime, like when they're like animating the character, they kind of cheat a little bit with how the character looks. I'm just doing this so that we could get we could show the mouth thing here a little bit. There's the middle of his mouth here. Alright, so now we're gonna like try to focus in on his lip here a little bit. This is the bottom of his lip. And then his chin goes like this. And then it's kind of more like that. His eyebrows kind of hug here. Again, you know, there's side views of these characters already, so don't judge me, guys. I'm not a Dragon Ball guy. I just know about it. Maybe this needs to go back a bit. The ears. Whatever. Okay, so we kind of extrapolated a side view from what we have right here, right? Using the annotate in Blender. It's not the best thing to do, you know. I would say, you know, use Critter or the Gimp or Photoshop, whatever it is, and do this kind of work so you can get a side view if you don't have one. Again, you know, Dragon Ball, there's tons of side views out there. You could get one, but I'm just using it from the front view just to kind of give us an idea of where things need to go. I think his chin is a lot thinner, like that. I think it's like that. It's supposed to be slanted like that actually, but whatever, guys. Again, I'm not Dragon Ball guy, but just trying to let's just say this is a different character, and you had to come up with a side view, and all you got was a front view. This is how you would try to get a side view from it. All right, I know his face is a lot fatter. I'm pretty sure the anime character probably, what Tappy was talking about probably is very different from Dragon Ball, but this is as extreme as I could think right now. I mean, there's other examples, but this is what I could think about right now. So let's just say right here, right? So we're gonna focus on the mouth here. How do you erase in here? I forgot. Is there like an erase tool in here? I forgot. Oh yeah, annotate erase. There you go. There we go. This is my version of Dragon Ball. I'm pretty sure it's not Dragon Ball you're dealing with, but we're just going to use this as an example. Okay, so if you don't have a side view, I would say make one like what I just did. Like you just draw these lines from different facial features and then you try to line it up like that. This is one way. Okay, so now we come down to the polygon and the plane and all that sort of stuff. Right, so this is a little trick, right? I'll show you guys this. So you said you made it from a plane, right? So let's make a line down the middle here where it's in the middle of his faces. So we could just get kind of one half. It's not 100% perfect, but let's just say like right there, right? And we want to draw this half, and we're going to mirror the other half. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's go back. So that's enough drawing for now. Okay, let's come off the Wacom. Let's go back onto here, onto my desktop. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the 3D cursor right here by the mouth. We'll be dealing with the mouth, right? Let's come here and let's add a plane. Scale this down. This should go pretty quick. Hold on here. Okay, so this is intersecting. Let's should we push this back a bit? Okay. You just gonna, oh no, this is not even straight. How did that happen? Let's fix that. Where's the rotation on this? There we go. Even this is kind of wonky. 190 on that. There we go. Okay, this is how we do it. Let's go back. Alright. Let's see if it'll work in, yep. So I'm gonna go over into wireframe mode. And this is how we're going to deal with the, so you want to do edge loops, right? So I'm in edit mode here. I'm just going to scale. I'm going to show you a little trick. Right, we just bring this over here. You deal with the top of the lip right here. All right, and let's just put a mirror modifier on this as we in here. Mirror. Generate mirror. So you get the other side, right? And what you're gonna do, you're gonna duplicate this entire object with everything. So I'm gonna go into object mode, and then I'm gonna go Alt D, duplicate this, bring this over here to this drawing right here, and you're gonna rotate R on the Z and go like 90, right? And this is how you can get to see the side view. And because we did Alt D to duplicate it, right? You press Alt D. Whatever you do to this one here, it should reflect on the other one. Let's just test it out. Oh, what's going on? Is it snapping? Hold on. Yep, so whatever you do here is going to reflect over there. Same thing whatever you do here should reflect over there, right? So this is the side view. Okay. So you come here with the side view, you pull that over here, so that's the top of the lip right there. We know the whole top is like this, right? And then you just press E, you didn't bring that, and now we could just adjust these points to make sense, right? And this is what I mean by edge loops right here, right? So let's go into the tweak tool here in Blender, right? The tweak tool is your friend. And we're just going to do a simple shape like this. So this is the side view I'm dealing with. All right, this is what we want here. You want to do something like this, and then you want to come down here. You can see all the keyboard shortcuts I'm pressing here. And this is like the corner of the mouth right here. Just keep it simple. And do something like this. All right, this is a side view of it, right? And whatever points you have up here, you want to kind of mirror those points down here, just to keep it simple for yourself. All right, and that's the mouth right there. Even if you're doing a really complex, and then you bring these parts in really close as possible. Right, and then you do something like this, and what this does, you could tie this into the rest of the face at some point, meaning that you know, like all these parts here and all that part. So let's focus on the mouth. Okay, so now we got to deal with this part here, which is the same amount of stuff here. Notice how that is over there. Let's see if we can bring these edges over, so we can make sense of these edges. Hold on. Okay, so that part, it belongs to here. This edge, I'm in edge mode now. Just kind of trying to look for where the edge is supposed to be going. Okay, so that part is here. That part is here. I'm in edge mode now. So see, now I got that part there. Now we could go back here and we could look and see. Okay, that's fine. So let's go into point mode. Alright, so I'm gonna kind of try to replicate that smile there a little bit on the bottom. Alright, so this is to get you started, right? Once you get started this way, you should be okay. Alright, so notice how this is what they call edge flow. So this is something you would have to practice. So characters, what a lot of if you're following a tutorial or other people, whatever it is, and they make it look so simple, but when you go to do it, it's, you know, it starts to get a little tough, because what they don't tell the characters is like one of the more challenging things to do in 3D. Right? Any kind of thing resembling a human being or even an animal. Animals might be a little easier, but humans is really, because we know what a human look like, right? And they get really tough to do, even if it's an anime character. Even if it's Vegeta. Okay, so you look back here to make sure everything looks fine. So now you can look back and forth between here and here to see everything is fine. So now what you do, seeing that you have that part of the mouth, you just run an edge loop around. and you really try to hone in on what makes it a lip, right? So even though it's an anime character, you still kind of want to have like hallmarks of what a lip actually is. I want to make another loop cut in here. So now is where the detail comes in. So once you get the general basic loop, you start to come into some detail. And what happens is that you no longer could actually rely on the anime drawing, no matter how detailed it is, for how things should look in 3D, right? So you got to look at actual, like an actual mouth, which we have tons of. I've got tons of reference images of how a mouth and lips and everything should look like. So I'm gonna stop for a minute here. I'm just going right now. I'm going off of my own memory right now. So I know like this part's supposed to be like that, this part's supposed to be like this, but I'll bring up some references here in a minute and show you what I mean. So you need other references other than the anime. So you see right here, let's edit this one. Right, I know these supposed to be bent this way. And this is supposed to be puckered out, so I'm just gonna bring this in like so and like that. Okay. I don't mind segueing, you know, if anyone comes in and they ask me a question, I don't mind segueing a little bit. You know, you guys seen me done that in the past, right? Segue a little bit into, you know, to anything, any questions anyone has. It's all good. That's what we do here. All right.
You make me worthy of life. You gave your everlasting blood. Your everlasting love.
Okay, let's come in here. Okay, let's take a look back here. So okay, so we kind of get in the thing now. You gotta go in 3D now, and you gotta you know, you obviously gotta like work on some things, right? So notice how we have the two views now. The shape is looking off, right? You go like, oh Nick, this is probably what I'm encountering, right? So you go to your top view, and you could also draw a top view of the character, but you just kind of want a rounded shape, and I'll show you another little trick I do in a minute here. So I'm just gonna come over here. I just kind of want to bring these out to give it that kind of like a round. What you're looking for is like a round head shape, right? You can even rotate these vertices. Oops. Right, and the thing about creating like mouths and a head for a character is that there's constant tweaking. And I've seen some people, they just go in and they just like do things just like that, right? And if you're talking about doing it from a plane, right? So it's not sculpt. That's why I think sculpting is so popular, because these methods here are a little more challenging, but they're fun, right? They're pretty accurate, right? So you kind of want something like that. All right, let's go back to our side view and see if we still kept our view here. Yeah, we still kind of somewhat kept that. So let's go grab. Right. You see, like now I'm tweaking, I'm bringing his lips a little bit in because maybe it was a little too far stretched back. And then things like smiling and stuff like that is a character being animated. So you don't actually want to model that unless you're doing like a maquette, like not maquette, like a toy. Then you're modeling the final thing, but the final expression. But if you're doing a character to be animated later, see if like you know you're gonna animate your anime character later, you want to do like a rest you know, like a rest pose and a rest facial pose, you know. I'm gonna rotate this, oops, rotate that slightly. Let's come here, let's grab that. And if you've been watching me, like, oh no, somebody sidetracked Nick again. I was like, no, don't worry, guys. I don't mind checking this stuff out. This is fun. Okay, so I'm just going off of based upon what I can remember, like how the contours of a mouth is. And when you do it a lot, you can remember like, okay, this part's supposed to be up and that spot's supposed to be down, and then that kind of thing. Yeah. And then you could go in and like tweak things and pinch certain parts in more than others and stuff like that. Oh, look at that, I did it the opposite way around. It could be that way. Let me see. That happens sometimes, guys. It's all good. Basically, I just have to rotate this. Rotate Z 90. Oh, 180. There you go. Okay, so all right. So this is the other thing that if you're doing it off of like an image, like two images, this is all you have. What you need to do is to make a volume to keep the facial shape on like a human head type volume. So you can leave this here, but what you could do is you can make another shape, right? So let's do another shape. You do another. Let's just keep it regular with a UV sphere, right? And you want to bring the sphere like right by the face, right there, right? And what you could do, right? You could then use proportional, kind of proportional editing on this, right? So right here is called proportional editing. Select that, and you can select like select a point on the sphere. Let's press G to grab, and you see it will grab like a whole bunch of points at once. And this is kind of what you want. Why is snap? For some reason I keep tuning snap on, guys. Let's grab this, right? You cannot do that. You cannot do that. You take it a step at a time, right? You don't overwhelm yourself. And you kind of bring it to like, like at least the front view of your character. Of course, you can have symmetry on for this also, which is probably what I should have done. Let's go back. Okay, let's do symmetry on for this. Let's see. No. X. Yeah, there we go. This is acting kind of wonky. Hold on. Let's save this. Doesn't matter. Whatever, guys. I'm gonna split the. Let's just split this in half. It's no big deal. It will be better. Okay. Let's just go ahead and mirror. Generate mirror. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're back on track here. So let's go back into points mode. And we're using the G key to grab. Oh, what's going on with my brush? My G brush is a little bit big. G, and then just scroll the brush down a bit. Okay. You could also use a lattice. It's not a big deal. Let's go back to the big one. It's not a big deal, guys. Let's go ahead and grab. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to do is to try to get like the general like volume of his head. Alright, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. I mean, we could do this easier with just a lattice, but I'm just trying to kind of speed through here a little bit, to be honest with you guys. Let's just get a general volume for his head there, and at least for his like his facial features, right? Let's duplicate that. Alt D. Rotate Z. Quick dirties, quick dirty. There we go. Alright, bring this back over here. It's over by his neck, and we're just gonna get the rest of the stuff here going on. Alright, this is his chin, so his chin's supposed to come up. So you kinda like, if you're working off of like just straight images, you kinda wanna, this is a little technique that that helped me in the past, is to have like an actual volume that represents the general shape of the head. So when you're doing the when you're doing the other technique of we could come in here, just scale that down a bit. Yeah, so when you're doing the other technique of using like a plane or polygons or whatever it is, you kind of have like a volume template almost. Guys, this is really messy right now. This is for example purposes for anyone out there who may be into like doing this kind of stuff, right? So you go to the top view, notice how like some parts are sunken in because it's 3D, right? So you wanna make sure that we have the right things. I just kind of deal with the volume there a bit. Make sure your brush is big enough so you can kind of like move the volume around and kind of have the volume. You see that it's almost forming the face almost to a degree of what it should kind of be. Just kind of do the back of the head here. So it's almost like a sculpting. You can even use the sculpt tools to do something like this. This is why sculpting is kind of like very popular, because it avoids like some of the little messiness of the of polygons. The polygons could get messy, and I think that's probably what our friend here was encountering. Polygons get really messy really quick. So you gotta like know how to kind of keep things kind of like basic and simple for like as much as you can, and then once you're happy with the general shape of everything, then you jump in and you really get going with the details. You know, I don't know if people have patience for that anymore, but I certainly do. You know, you guys seen me, we've done a character for my friend here on the channel. If you look back at some of the other videos, you'll see where there's a character called Makonnen, where I did polygon modeling of some drawings my friend had. So this is another technique for anime characters. Alright, let's go back to that side view. Okay, and let's see if we could get pull back. Let's see if we could fix some of these things. Alright, so I'm just gonna get in the general volume of the head. Okay, here we are, the front part here, and this, notice how what's happening here. I think this needs to rotate again. Oh, what happened there? Sorry guys, hold on. Okay, there we go. Something got deleted by accident, but it's all good. Let's go front view here. We'll go wireframe again. Alright, you just do like a little bit of tweaking. Alright, you start to realize this is another way. And remember, I think in Blender you could edit 2 objects at once. But let's just do 1 object at a time here. Let's grab. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay. Right. Anyhows, so this is a volume that you could use to help you. You know, when you're doing this now. Right, this could definitely help with, you know, keeping things on the correct volume. So let's bring them all up. And you could probably even project it on here. I don't like to do that, but I like this just to kind of make sure. So see, like I put this in here now. Right, and I realize like the mount needs to be a little bit flatter. So scale, let's see, Y. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Let's go into points mode here. Oh, let's turn proportional off for this. Okay, select everything, scale, Y. And we can even put the 3D cursor right here, and you could scale off of the 3D cursor, which always helps. Let's see, I kind of bring the edges back up here. So this gives you like somewhat of something to work with, and you can still play around with it. Let's select this. Okay, I'll put that into wireframe for now, so I could see what's going on here with our lip. Let's do the same thing with this. Okay, let's go to the side view here. Okay, so now you can kind of see what's going on here. I still want to pull this guy over. So let's do that real quick. G. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so we don't have to go like to the extreme of like where this is, and I'm using proportional editing now as on the polygon plane that we used to create the mount, almost as sculpting, right? So that looks great, right? So it kind of gets back the same thing, and now we could build out from here. You know, you can continue using your plane to make your anime face, right? And what I mean by that is this. You could select like that edge, or you can stay in vertex mode and select this group of vertices, and you can start making the nose. So you go here. So I don't know if you're watching a tutorial or if you're just doing it on your own, but you know, this is one way. You know, it's somewhat of an old technique, but it's still fun. Just click that. I mean, it's only old now because they're sculpting. Sculpting kind of gets you there a little quicker. But again, you know, I like doing these things. Right, and the thing to remember, like when you're doing polygon modeling like this, is that you want to kind of keep your polygons as evenly spaced as you can. Right, and you always want like a flow to things. Something like that. Alright. Kind of want to select here. Oops, select this. And you kind of want to do the chin. And then to also modeling in 3D, you got to learn how to do that with this technique. You got to be comfortable rotating in a view like this and being able to get your model working. Right, which is what a lot of people did not like, which is what made sculpting very popular. So you can kind of avoid some of that. Right, again, the jawline here. You get a neck. Okay. All right, kind of tuning that up. Right, and then being able to tweak like this. So I'm using the tweak tool in Blender. It's over here. Go to the top, right here to the top. You just have to, it's one of the menus. So you're normally in box select, but the tweak tool allows you to pull points like this. And once you're doing this kind of modeling, it's all about pulling these points and edges and stuff like that to get this stuff working nice. Again, which a lot of people didn't like this, but hats off to you, my friend, for jumping in and doing something like this. I think in the end you'll be better off for it. You'll definitely learn a lot there, right? So this is how I would start, and everything is edge loops, right? So the eye is also edge loops. So what you do with the mouth here, you want to make more loops around the mouth, right? So you select that point, and you want to make more loops. So I'm gonna do this in 3D space, because this is how you have to kind of get accustomed looking at this stuff. Alright. If you're doing this face stuff. Another easy way to do it is just to select these edges and just pull them and just extrude them out. Press E to extrude. And press S to scale. You get a little bit of that, right? So it's kind of somewhat in the same area. Select that. Oh, yeah, the tweak tools like that. Just snap to that point, and then start to move these points where they need to be. You kind of move it out. You try to kind of capture like as much of the mesh as possible. Let's fill that. Right, and you have your volume guide here. And what you do with this volume guide, right? And you leave the mouth out for a minute, and then you go into like doing the eye, and then there's a way to connect all these back. You do the eye, you do the ears, you do a jawline, and you can connect everything, and then you use a proportional like this. You come in here, you press 0 on your keyboard for proportional. You make sure you press G, and you make sure the brush is wide enough, and you start kind of like almost sculpting out your geometry. Like I'm gonna bring this out here a bit, right? I'll bring this back here a bit. Alright, so is part of this is constant tweaking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. Music. Okay, guys. So basically, what happened here is, I'm not gonna build this out because this was just me showing, probably solving a problem there with, with doing anime features. You could go in after, like, so this mouth is really wide. You could go in here and you could squeeze this mouth in and have it make sense with everything else. But by the time you build the head out, it's gonna look really wide, and the mouth is gonna look small if that's what you're aiming for. So yeah, so I mean, it's just about polygon modeling and that kind of thing. But this is how I would go about doing, that type of thing in a really quick, fast way. I don't know what tutorials are out there or anybody might be watching, but this is one of my ways, and I've seen this through many different tutorials. So edge flows is a big deal. The next thing you could do too, I'll show you this one other thing that I do. This is probably one of the main techniques here. Let's bring the Wacom up here. So this is what I do. I just hide what I just did with the plane. Right, so you have a character like this, right? This is a good idea. You could practice doing this on any picture. This is really fun. Check this out. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna come in any paint program that you have, and you have your favorite anime character, and you're gonna make edge loops on the drawing for yourself. And this is how you're gonna do it. Let's make a new one. Let's give this a nice color, like maybe like a nice blue, or maybe even a green, right? And you're gonna make edge loops on one side of the face. So this is how you're gonna do it, right? Pick a side of the face and trace over on top. Hold on. Trace over on top like this, right? Hold on. Let me hide this. All right, so that's the mouth. Oops, sorry. Okay. So this is the mouth. You're gonna trace the mouth. Oh man, I need freeform. Okay. So you're gonna trace the mouth like this, and then you're gonna start making your own edge loops, right? So you're gonna do something like this. Right? Connect that. You're gonna make your own edge loops the way you think the edges for the character should be. So I'm gonna go like this, like that. This is a good drawing exercise when you're doing faces. I'm sorry guys, but faces are involved. Right? And you're gonna select, like, I'm gonna do like the chin select. You want the chin a little more round. Like to reach your point, you do that. Right? This is like the thing that sits in the chin. Do like that. And now you're gonna edge loop that out. Right? Because the chin returns like this. And I'm pretty sure if you look around, you'll probably see images like this online, where people do this kind of stuff. It's a really fun practice of where you think the edge loop should go in your model. Right? And I think like this, something should come around here. Right? It forces you to kind of think about where things fall on your model. Maybe this could have been like that. Right? You want to define like your shapes, like your nose. So maybe there needs to be like a second cut there. And you kind of want to follow the contours of your character. Alright, so you know the eyes have to close, so you need edge loops. You need edge loops like this. Going around. I say give yourself like at least 2 to have like proper deformation. Like look at this. This needs to go like this. And you could go in and you could clean it up. You could clean this up, right? I don't know if this. I don't think this is being seen properly. Let's go red. That's better. Right, I'm getting some triangles there. We could go in and clean that up. I'm just doing this real quick. Right, you definitely want something going on here. So everything kind of converges at the mouth, kind of. Now these loops are a little wrong, but I'm just showing you an example, guys. Right, you can kind of figure that out. Your brow could be like that, right? And like this here needs to concentrate like that. You can have like this. And you can look at the overall head. Then it kind of gives you an idea of like the kind of polygon flow that needs to happen on your head. Maybe this needs to cut off like that. Because you need to have they need a shape like that, so this needs a thing like that, and overall maybe like this.
xsinick, let's go.
This is just a rough of me showing you. Right, then you could go in and actually like kind of figure out like, okay, this needs to be a little more like that. You could go in and erase certain parts that doesn't make sense, and this gives you a good idea of like how the edge flow should be in your for your particular character to animate it, because you want like the eyes to be able to close, so you need enough edge loops around here. You notice I have like one strip of polygons, another strip, and a bunch of strips coming out like that. It kind of help you figure that out, you know, so that you could deform the eyes, the mouth, you know, the chin, and the flows are here, and then of course you could do your ears or whatever it is, and the head, you know, like here's a lot of like facial frowning and stuff. You want to make sure that, oops, there's enough polygons to allow for him to do facial expressions. So this is a good practice. And then, you know, you look at your polygons when you're modeling. You can have this on the side. You can look at your polygons while you're modeling and see if it's lining up with this, you know. Right, so I can already see I can bring them out in a little bit in here, and you know, you could do a lot of things with the polygons and that kind of thing. All right, guys, so beat that horse to death. It was a lot of fun segueing into that. I'm going to take a little break. I'll be right back in a minute. Hey, Toppy Slock. Hey, hope to see you here again, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, take it easy. I'll be right back. BRB.
So why didn't I flinch? Because the laws of science differ fundamentally from those of...
You do in this entire apocalypse. I trust you, oh Father, as your word revealed. I trust you, oh Father, by your stripes I'm healed. I trust you, oh Father, I'm more than just dirt. I trust you, oh Father, your blood gives me word. trust you, oh Jesus. You came to save. I trust you, oh Jesus. You conquered the grave. I trust you, oh Jesus. You are my protector. I trust you, oh Jesus. You are my savior. We live onto you in these realities. Great works you do in this end time apocalypse.
Hey, hang on, you guys. I'll be right back.
Okay guys, I'm back. Hey, I'm gonna take a look at a model that I have here, and you know, it's that same model that I've been working on with the inside of the character's suit and all that sort of stuff. So let's take a look at that real quick, and then maybe we call that a stream for now. But man, what fun! What fun! Again, Tappy Slock. I don't mean to be calling you out, but hey, you know, thanks for that, man. That was awesome. Let's jump into the rest of what we're doing here, guys. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go into the assets, and then we're going into heroes, St. Karen. Okay, so we do have actually suits. Actually, it's the most recent one that we did.
We live onto you in this reality mix. Great works you do in this end time apocalypse.
Okay, we're gonna open the interiors of this.
Trust you, oh God, for my need is great. I trust you, oh God, for your riches inflate. I trust you, oh God, your mercies are new. I trust you, oh God, I will follow.
Okay, it's loading. It's loading. It's a lot. Leave it alone. Okay, so apparently we started like to do some. Okay, so what we did, we were actually started to do some retopo.
Live onto you in this reality mix. Great works you do in this end time apocalypse.
Okay, so we did one section.
I trust you,
And we moved on to the other section. So retopo it is.
trust you,
So retopo a little bit later, guys. I'm gonna. Oh, you guys can't see anything. Hold on here.
I trust you, oh Jesus. You are my savior.
Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so we started to retopo the interior of this. Let's see here. Interior. Yep, so we had the retopo of that. Okay, so we were going through like retopoing this to bring it into 3D Code. Into Blender, excuse me. Okay, so this is the back interior. Yeah, boy. Okay, so yeah, we definitely jumping back into this. And let's see the front interior. Ooh. That's the This is the front interior, yep. I just got a the topo. Awesome. And each of these are separate pieces, and wow. Okay, so we got us some work. So this will be next stream. We'll dive into some of this, and we'll keep it going, guys. We keep churning out things and getting things done. All right, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and checking out what we have cooking here on the xsinick show. Xsnicky, of course, is usually quiet for all of this, and talking about being quiet. That's something that I'm going to start to kind of do a little bit more, right? I'm going to try to be as quiet as possible and just kind of put my head down and get some of this work done while I'm streaming and outside of streaming also, guys. So I'll see you guys later. Keep, being inspired by, things that you like, by nature, by movies, by books, and by each other, right? Okay, guys, I'll see you guys later. If you've been watching the stream and you haven't joined our Discord, I recommend that it's a kind of cool thing to do, because there's a bunch of like things on there to help with like modeling and drawing. We do music, we do all, well, as you could hear, too much music. We look at different things, and we like anime and all that. All right, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. God bless. Bye bye.
God, for my need is great. I trust you, oh God, for your riches inflate. I trust you, oh God, your mercies are new. I trust you, oh God, I will follow you. Reality makes great works you do in this end time apocalypse. I trust you, oh Jesus, you came to save. I trust you, oh Jesus, you conquered the grave. I trust you, oh Jesus, you are my protector. I trust you, oh Jesus, you are my savior.
We are the cleaners, as were our fathers. We purify the world. One day, our children will breathe. Look down. All the way down. The storm abates and the dust settles for other than us. We are the builders, as were our ancestors. We shape this world for those who come after us. clear history written. Red the surface. White our bones on terraformed Mars, cradle of our children.